All right, it is time for our ministry time tonight right here on Retro Rock Live. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show so far of Female Hard Rock Night, as this is our second week of doing a female-themed month of June. We still have coming up Female 90s Night next week, and then we're going to have a hard rock, early 2000s hard rock night. We had a hard rock night featuring, more of the 80s and 70s stuff. We're going to have an early 2000s hard rock night coming up later on in our last week of June. In the meantime, let's talk about the topic of pride tonight on our ministry time right here on Retro Rock Live. It says in Proverbs 16:18 in the NIV version, "Pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall." Pride, in the other words, is deadly, but instead of warning us, the world encourages pride in every way. It's technically Pride Month. We're not going to get into what they mean by Pride Month, but it's not what we mean when we're talking about pride in accordance to the Bible. Pride is faith in yourself instead of faith in God. And again, probably when you look at Pride Month and the way the world looks is everybody can be whoever they want, blah, blah, blah. But pride is faith in yourself and not faith in God. The root of pride is selfishness, putting yourself first, thinking you are the most important thing in the world. How many of these athletes are prima donnas and think they're having, even some of these musicians and rap artists think that they're, all that in a bag of chips. Thinking you're the greatest ever, thinking you deserve better than somebody else. Pride will cause you to go your own way instead of God's way, like that song by Fleetwood Mac, "You Can Go Your Own Way." Yeah, that song. Never mind my singing. Pride makes you think you do not need God's advice or help. Pride is the root of all sin. Did you hear that? Pride is the root of all sin. So that means that pride is a big problem. It causes you to turn away from God instead of turning to God. All disobedience has pride as its root. So, when you get a root, it's coming from pride. When you get a root of something. All rebellion has pride behind it. All mistreatment of other people is caused by pride. Putting yourself and your feelings above the other person and their feelings. Not cool. The world system people are pride and often give into riches. Jesus said that pride is evil and defiles a person in the Mark chapter 7. While the world may promote the pride for a short time, their fame and success will not last. James 4:6 in the New King James Version says, "God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble." Now, you've probably heard that a lot of times, but it's so true. God does not like us to put our faith in ourselves. He wants us to trust in Him. It says in Proverbs 3:5, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own" what? Understanding. You need to acknowledge God so He will direct your path. Proverbs 3:5-6. So God resists the proud, but He gives grace, which means unearned favor, to the humble. That is a good thing, a very good thing. Pride is the most serious and the most subtle sin. It often goes unrecognized. That's why it can be aware and be very scary, because sometimes you don't even see pride, and that's not a good thing. So we need to pray and ask God to help us beware of any pride that might be in our life. Pride is a bad thing. It says in Philippians 2:3, the second part of it, "Be humble and give more honor to others than yourself." Pride is something that can destroy relationships if we allow it to. It shows up in so many different ways, like criticism and competition. Very much can come in competition. Stubbornness, being superficial. The problem with pride is it's self-deceiving. Everybody else can see it in us but us at times. When you have a problem with pride, you don't see it in your life. And that's why it's so scary. Pride destroys relationships. As I said, Proverbs 16:18, "Pride leads to destruction. A proud attitude brings ruin." I love the verse in the Message paraphrase that says, first pride, then the crash. The bigger the ego, the harder the fall. I like that. The bigger the ego, the harder the fall. It says in 1 Peter 3:8 to live in harmony, be sympathetic, love each other, have compassion, and be humble. So how are you and I going to grow in humility, you might ask? It happens by letting Jesus Christ begin to control your thought life, your heart, your attitude, and your reactions to things. He's got to be part of everything that you do. Ephesians 4:23 and 24. I know I'm giving you a lot of scriptures tonight, but it's important. It says, let the Spirit change your way of thinking and make you into a new person. That's the CEV version. So how do you become a new person, you might ask? How do you start to think in a different way? The basic law of relationships is this. You tend to become like the people you spend time with. So if you spend time with prideful people or grumpy people, you get grumpier. If you spend time with happy people, you might get happier. Like R.E.M. Shiny, happy people laughing. So I know, but if you spend time with happy people, maybe you'll get happy. He wants us to have a relationship with us. God does. He wants you to spend time with him in prayer. If you want to have humility, you want to spend time with Jesus. Reading his word, talking to him, doing whatever you can to spend time with the Lord. He is humble, and as you get to know God, you will become more like him, and you will become less prideful and more in humble. Now remember, pride is, a simple definition of pride is, again, putting yourself first, thinking of yourself first, instead of, putting your faith in yourself, instead of putting your faith in Jesus, in other words. So that is our ministry time. Hopefully you're blessed. It is based off a song that Jeff, I believe, wrote the lyrics to about pride. And Jen Smith from right here in Canastota, New York, another Canastota singer. I don't believe she's doing any singing now. She's got a great voice, and she was one of the singers for Dust. They had multiple singers, but again, some great female-led vocals here. Here is Jess Band. If we're going back to about the year 2000, in that range, 2000, 2001, and here is the song Pride, right here on Retro Rock Live.